I'm Kelsey Harkness for the Daily Signal. Today we're joined by Chaplain Lawhorn, who's a former Army Ranger who recently came under fire for referencing the Bible during a suicide prevention hearing. Chaplain, thank you very much for joining us. What was your reaction to receiving this complaint?
It's been a lot of things, Kelsey, over the last couple of weeks since this has happened. If I had to use some adjectives to describe it, it'd be confusing, kind of surprising, actually, to be honest with you, and sort of distracting at the same time for both me and my family, because it does kind of come at a strange time around the holidays, and the Army is about to PCS me or move me to a new duty assignment. So just a lot of things going on right now, and so it's definitely felt like a lot of things.
Can you explain the role of a military chaplain speaking at a suicide prevention briefing?
Well, no matter what a chaplain is doing in his or her official capacity as a chaplain, the motto and the creed of the chaplain corps in the Army is to bring God to soldiers and soldiers to God. So whether it's a suicide prevention training or anything else that we're doing in an official role, my objective is to kind of bring encouragement and a sense of hope to soldiers from a religious or spiritual perspective. What I had tried to communicate with my audience is that depression can be conquered, depression can be overcome, and there are myriad ways of dealing with depression. And I enumerated many of those various means of finding encouragement and finding hope and strength to persevere and to remain resilient. When I spoke about faith in particular, and in particular my Christian faith, it was clear that I was speaking from first-person account, that I was speaking about my own experiences, and I shared with my audience some of the struggles that I had with depression and how I overcame it. And in my particular situation, it was my faith that helped me to persevere and remain resilient in the face of depression. And I was very clear to my audience that that was one way to handle depression and thoughts of suicide, but it certainly was not the only way. And I provided, like I said, myriad means of providing hope and places to go to for support and encouragement.
Critics say it was really came down to a handout that you crossed the line, where you reference specific parts of the Old Testament. Do you understand how someone of a different faith than you might be offended by this, and how did they train you as a military chaplain to deal with that issue?
Well, I can say this. I can absolutely understand that someone of a differing faith than me in the audience, or somebody of no faith in particular, might not be interested at all into what worked for me in my battle with depression. I made it clear from the beginning of the class that I gave that any handout or any resource that I provided soldiers who might need help was completely optional. And so it was up to them whether to take it or leave it. But absolutely, at no time were any of the handouts or any of the resources that I provided to the audience did I declare them to be mandatory or that they had to take them, specifically the handout that you mentioned.
Well, thank you very much, Chaplain Lawhorn, for joining us. To learn more about his story, head online for the Daily Signal. I'm Kelsey Harkness.